Welcome to Scdc. My name is Karisoma Samla. I am a reset case manager. My primary job is to work with 10 individuals. The ratio of the individuals are 80% TAY and 20% regular youth. So Scdc stands for Samoan Community Development Center. Now, it does say Samoan Community Development Center because primarily we work with the Samoan population or the Pacific Islander population, but we're not limited to. We do have other groups that we do work with in collaboration with. We're set up in a poverty-stricken neighborhood in an old school building that is like really short from being condemned, but you still can operate in the building. There can't be a regular school happening throughout the day. The purpose of this organization is to make sure that we set up a shop where our community can come and seek assistance versus going to a place where there's a language barrier, a cultural barrier, and there won't be any communication. So here we house, it's intricate here. During the summer program, we have an extensive summer program, which is 6 to 8 weeks, and we do a lot of cultural enhanced programming. We learn a lot of cultural dances, cultural songs, and we teach our young folks some indigenous ways by way of language, by way of song, by way of dance, by way of cultural practices. Here we also house a senior citizen program because we do believe that it's still our duty to help our senior citizens in this stage of their life. They were there when we were born, but we want to be there when they're ready to transition out. Also to let them know that we still honor them. We also have a high school component. We have a middle school and an elementary school component. The environment of the neighborhood, like I said earlier, it's a poverty-stricken neighborhood. It's below it's way below the poverty line. It's going through gentrification right now. They're knocking down old buildings. They're building new buildings. The people who used to live here don't know if they can really get back. They're told that some of them can get back into the new spots, but we don't know how that's going to shake down. HUD has given up the rights to everything to private organizations, to where now it's up to them. So originally there's 750 doors here in Sunnydale. When they break everything down, there will be 1,750 doors. So 1,000 of those doors will go to regular market apartments and things like that. And then 750 is supposed to go back to the community. But they have weigh-in on who can come in and who can't. So if you're behind on your rent, or if you have a long history of being behind on your rent, or you have a long history of police activity at your door, 99.9% of the time, you won't get back in. I live in the Hunters Point area, and I went through the gentrification process there in the Hunters View area, West Point. And a lot of people that they told that was gonna come back in, they're not there anymore. And the neighborhood looks a lot different. The makeup of the neighborhood looks different.
This is where they're taking all the projects down and building new apartment buildings for other people. And basically, this is basically the before. They haven't torn it down yet, but they're getting ready to. And this is the after now, which is, we look like we're in Beverly Hills somewhere now. It's crazy. They're moving all the, the rich white people in. And they're just taking everybody out of their homes. And I'm pretty sure they're not gonna make it available for people like us to live over here. So it's kind of like throwing it in our face. Kind of like, we're building this building here and you can't stay here because you can't afford it.
All right, so let me take you down to our workshop for our young men who was caught up in the system. Now they're re-entering back into society. And so part of this workshop is management, behavioral management, like what to do at a job, things of that nature. These guys are pretty good. Hopefully we'll catch them at a good part. So these are folks from Chalk, right? And so our folks in Chalk, what they do is they come in and they do this workshop, peer workshop, right? So Dorian was one of my students at James Deming Middle School. But now she's all grown up and doing workshops. So now Dorian runs peer workshops. These are our guys. They can run over there. Isaiah right there.
So basically they get paid $50 per workshop that they attend, and then they get paid in a Visa gift card through every other Wednesday. So every other Wednesday, that every week that they come, basically it's $100 for that week, and then you get paid, constantly. So it's it keeps them motivated, it keeps a little money in their pockets every week and stuff like that. So it's cool. Today's topic is on self-sabotage. So today we're gonna be talking about like how do you sabotage your decisions and how those decisions impact your life and stuff like that. So
1996 officially. I've been doing this work way before when I was a youth. What happened was I dropped out of school and I was selling drugs. And my mom said, I want to see you come home every night. I don't want you to be out there and then I have to worry if you're going to make it home or not. So I ended up taking a couple odd-end jobs. At one time, I had 3 jobs. And then my mom was like, you work too much. I was like, you just told me to go work. Like, you told me to go work. So she goes, figure out what you want to do. Figure out how you want to be, how people want to see you from here on out. In 1989, my brother was shot and killed in San Francisco in the Bayview Hunters Point, Harbor Road to be exact. I was 14, 15 years old, and I watched my brother die. And when my father died, my brother took on the father role. And he imputed in me a lot of things. And so I felt that it was important for me to use everything that he gave me to give to somebody else's son or brother. Now, being able to make a whole bunch of money per night to going to making like $9.50 an hour for 2 hours of the day, 5 days a week. You do the math, right? You do it, like that's pennies on a dollar. But my mom said something in Samoan, and in English I'll translate it. She goes, "Ia e fa maongi me iki na e puli lola e mekele," meaning it's a Bible scripture. It says that be faithful to the small things, and you will be given governments over everything, bigger things. So I took that. And so little did I know that my life was being formed at that time. Started moving up in the ladder, becoming a supervisor, then becoming a manager. And then one day, a brother named Will Corpus was like, do you want to work with young folks? Do you want to impact lives? And I thought I was ready. So in 1999, I started doing case management work. Started doing violence prevention, gang prevention, case management work. And it was the best thing that I've ever did with my life up to that point. I did that work all the way till last year, August. In last year, August, I was about to throw it all away. I lost a very good friend, like a brother. I lost a very good brother to my life. And he and I, we had great conversations about where we would like our young folks to go. What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? And he was shot and killed. And I was working at San Bruno County Jail, and I told myself I can't do it anymore. Like, the hazards of the work, we know that this is one of the hazards. The hazard of the work is you could get hurt one day. But never in my wildest dreams did I think that murder would be part of being hurt. So I told the people at San Bruno County Jail, I'm done. I can't. Mentally and emotionally, I can't do it. And then when I left, I told them the reason why I can't do it because one day they're going to catch the perpetrator. And if they catch the perpetrator, the possibility that the perpetrator can come through San Bruno County Jail is very high. And I got almost 100% access to the building. That means that at some point in time, if you would have pulled up, this community mindset that I have, I probably wouldn't be able to control it. And I would probably do something that would hurt him and hurt me at the back end. So I had to walk away. As I walked away, an elder in the community says, come back to your people. Your people need you now more than ever. The sons and daughters of Samoa need you. So I answered the call. I landed here, Samoan Community Development Center in October. And I gotta tell you, it was the best decision I've ever made as far as career is concerned. Because not only is it going to help me with my career, but emotionally, it's the healing. So I continue to do the work now with the brothers with me. Jungle that passed away, JT that passed away. These are the guys, when I'm in a room with young folks, when I'm presenting to young folks, when I'm doing one-on-one with young folks, I make sure that I bring those names in. I mention those names because that was the narrative that they wanted to see in our community, was what can we do to elevate our people? So now I'm at a point where the work has changed. The work, back then, it was like, just get paid. But now the work is make a difference. Leave your legacy behind. Make sure that you give everything you got to your young folks before you walk away. Because who and what are they living now? I might not have went through that same thing. I might went through a different type of experience, but I do have some things that will help them navigate it. So now when I do the work, it has a whole different meaning to it. Now when I do the work, it's about saving lives, setting narratives, taking our young folks through our indigenous ways of doing things, getting our folks away from this colonial mindset, this westernized ways of thinking, that it's not about piling money, it's about saving the people. So now, I'm saving the people.